This video starts where the last one left off. We're right in the middle of filling out the FAFSA on the web worksheet, and we're ready for Section 3, Parental Information. Because it's about your parents, you'll definitely want to have at least one of them with you as you fill out this worksheet, because they'll be asked some detailed questions, especially about their finances. It also makes it a lot easier if, before you start to fill out the parental information section, your parent or parents have already filed their taxes.
What if my parents haven't completed their taxes yet?
If your parents haven't completed their taxes, just use your best estimation. You'll have a chance to correct the information later. Let's start with a basic definition of who is actually considered a parent and who needs to fill out what. If your mom and dad are married and together, then this form asks for information about both. Grandparents, foster parents, and legal guardians are not considered parents on this form unless they have legally adopted you. If your parents are divorced or separated, only the parent with whom you lived with the most over the last year needs to provide parent information.
What if I spend the same amount of time with both of my divorced parents?
If you lived with both parents equally over the last year, then only the parent who has provided more financial support for you during the last 12 months needs to fill out this section. If your mom or dad has remarried, then both your biological parent and your step-parent need to provide parent information here. All of this brings us to the first question, which asks if your parents are married. Remember, this question pertains to the people we just defined as your parents. So, for example, if your mom and dad divorced and now you're living mostly with your mom and she's remarried, your mother's marital status for this question is married or remarried.
What if my parents are in the process of getting a divorce?
Good question. Remember, this pertains to your parents' marital status on the day you fill out the FAFSA. So if they're married the day you submit your FAFSA, but divorcing the day after you submit it, then put down married. When you get to this question on the FAFSA online, there is a special help section that will instruct you on how to proceed. Question 71 asks for your parents' email address. This is a good backup system for all of the information that will be sent to the student once the FAFSA is completed. If your parents have an email address, it's a good idea to add it here. Let's skip down to question number 74 about your parents' date of legal residency.
What's so important about this date?
This is a very important question if you're considering an out-of-state college especially. That state will use this date to determine if you meet its criteria for state financial aid. Each state determines legal residency differently. If you have questions, contact the school's financial aid office for assistance. The next three questions on the worksheet through the bottom of page 4 pertain to your parents' tax returns. That's why it's advisable to have already completed filing. Turn the page and look at the next question, question number 85, about whether your parents are considered dislocated workers. If they have lost a job or have been laid off, you can check yes. If they think they may be laid off soon but are still working now, you have to check no for now.
What if they're laid off a week after I file?
If your parent is laid off after you've filed the FAFSA, be sure to contact the college's financial aid office and let them know your family situation has changed. This is very important because this could significantly impact your financial aid package. Read through the explanation that is included in the worksheet if you need some more help. Questions 86 through 90 can be a little tricky. If your parents have already filed their taxes, just make sure that you use the information from the correct line from the tax form that they used. If they haven't filed taxes and you're close to the deadline, provide your best estimate.
What if my estimates are incorrect?
You'll have a chance to go back and correct them after you submit your FAFSA online. Just make sure not to leave these questions blank. Question 75 asks about the number of family members in your parents' household. Generally, you count yourself, the parents who are filling out this part of the form, and any other persons in the house for which your parents are providing the majority of support. If you're still unsure, there's a household size worksheet that's available online with more details on how to answer your questions.
Why does this number matter?
Basically, if you have any brothers or sisters that will also be attending college when you are, this could affect how much financial aid you may receive. At this point, it's important to turn to the very last page, page 8, and fill out any additional financial information about your parents or yourself. Again, utilize the resources on the web or call the FAFSA hotline at 800-4-FED-AID if you need help. These questions can be difficult. Finally, the last part of Section 3 is about your parents' assets. Take careful consideration when answering these questions. And remember, just like your taxes, all of this information is confidential. Question 91 asks you to sum up your parents' total current balance in cash, savings, and in checking accounts. Question 92 asks about investments. If your parents have investments, they may want to read through the detailed information specific to each type of investment in the FAFSA Frequently Asked Questions at fafsa.ed.gov or at finaid.org.
Do we need to include the value of the home that we live in as an investment?
No. When it asks about the net worth of your parents' investments, including real estate, note that you can exclude the value of the home you and your parents live in. Your parents may want to talk to your tax consultant or financial planner for help when filling out this information. If something was not covered in this video, or if you still have some questions, don't worry, because there's always a Need Help button at the bottom of every page on the FAFSA on the web, where you can find more information and get clarification. You can also find more help online at studentaid.ed.gov or at finaid.org.